Our plane was ordered into a holding pattern. Then the city started going dark. Now, we're the last people alive, and we're running out of sky. I've been working long-haul flights for 7 years now. You pick up patterns. Passengers complain about turbulence in the first hour, then they get sleepy, then the cabin quiets down like a church. I used to love the stillness of that middle stretch. Dark cabin, humming engines, people breathing in sync. But now it feels like a graveyard with tray tables. We were about 5 hours into the Heathrow-Chicago route when it started. Everything had been textbook. Smooth air, full meal service, not a single drunken stag do. I was in the galley boiling water when the captain called us into the crew jump seat area. The tone in his voice made my stomach go cold. He said we'd just been ordered into a holding pattern. No explanation. Chicago Center told him the ground was experiencing a high-security emergency and advised all transatlantic flights to circle until further notice. We'd all heard that term before, holding pattern. Normally it means there's congestion on the tarmac, weather delays, some VIP movement. But we weren't even over Illinois yet. We were still over open water. The captain's hands were shaking as he spoke. That scared me more than anything. Then, 30 minutes later, our ACAR system lit up again. Short bursts of text-based information. Disjointed, garbled. Military designators, partial city codes. Contact lost. JFK, impact confirmed. City, multiple. We asked him what impact meant. He didn't answer. We knew. I remember the moment the crew stopped pretending. We sat in the rear galley, whispering like kids caught doing something wrong. Beth, one of the seniors, said she used to work NATO liaison flights back in the day. She said if the cities were going dark like this, we wouldn't be going home. Not tonight. Not ever. We weren't told to declare an emergency. No direction from ground. No safe harbor. No reroute. Just one final message: hold as long as possible. Await further. That was 10 hours ago. We're still holding. The passengers don't know. Not officially. The map screens still show us gliding slowly in lazy ovals above the Atlantic. I turned them off after a woman started crying. Said we'd passed the same cloud formation 3 times. She's not wrong. We're in a loop. Not for safety. Not for weather. We're just up here like a paper plane caught in limbo. A man in 27C tried to FaceTime his wife an hour ago. Said the call connected but all he could hear was sirens and distant screaming. He just sat there staring at his phone like if he blinked it would vanish. Eventually, he threw up in his seat and hasn't spoken since. We gave up on the in-flight entertainment after BBC World News flickered for a second. Just long enough for a presenter to stammer something about London, multiple strikes. Parliament, gone. Then static. Followed by an emergency alert. Outside the window, the world is on fire. We can't see the cities, not directly, but we can see the sky reacting to their deaths. Dirty orange blooms pulse on the horizon like infected wounds in the clouds, each one smudging the atmosphere with another layer of soot. The turbulence isn't violent. It's slow and shuddering, like the sky itself is struggling to stay in one piece. Ash rides the slipstreams at 30,000 feet, coating the outer glass in streaks that look like fingerprints dragged by the dead. Every now and then there's a flash, too distant to blind us, but close enough to feel in our teeth. Just a silent strobe over the curve of the earth, another capital erased. It's like watching a planet die from the window of a waiting room. One of the junior crew members, Jay, had a breakdown in the lavatory. Locked himself inside and screamed until his voice gave out. When we finally got the door open, he kept asking what country we were flying over. His face was pale, eyes wild. "Just tell me there's still a country," he said. I didn't have the heart to lie. Fuel is the question now. That's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. We're not a military aircraft. We're a 777 with commercial tanks and standard reserves. The captain stretched it by throttling back and looping through thinner air corridors, but that's a temporary fix. We've been up here nearly 16 hours. The math doesn't work anymore. And here's the thing that keeps me up even when I'm standing. We don't know where to land. Every major city has either gone dark or stopped transmitting. The places that are still online are rejecting contact. Iceland denied our relay ping. So did Dublin. So did Shannon. So did Madrid. It's like the whole world went dark and nobody told us. A kid, maybe 6 or 7, asked me when we were landing. He had chocolate on his face and a model airplane in his lap. I said we'd be on the ground soon. He smiled and said, "I hope it's sunny." I walked into the crew storage and cried so hard I bit my tongue to keep quiet. Beth thinks we're the safest people alive. We're 35,000 feet above a mass grave, she said. If that's not safe, I don't know what is. But even she's looking gaunt now. She caught the captain staring at a printed map of Europe with 3 red X's drawn on it. No city names. Just marks. That's when she took off her watch and stopped checking the time. People are starting to notice the silence. Not the kind you get on a red-eye flight, but the unnatural kind. No radio chatter. No ADC. No other aircraft visible, not even contrails. One man stood up and said he hadn't seen a single plane cross our flight path in hours. That's not normal on a transatlantic route. Not even during COVID. The skies should be littered with crossings. But it's just us. A metal ghost gliding above the world, kept in the air by old schedules and the assumption that someone somewhere is still listening. Some of the crew want to tell the passengers the truth. Others say that would be a death sentence. That panic would do what the blasts haven't. I don't know where I stand. Maybe they deserve to know. Or maybe the kid with the chocolate on his face deserves 10 more minutes of believing in a sunny landing. Maybe that's mercy. The intercom just chirped. It wasn't the captain. It was a voice I didn't recognize. A woman. Calm, American accent like a call center operator. She said, "Flight 389, you are currently designated condition Echo. Maintain altitude. Do not attempt contact. All international emergency protocols are suspended." Then silence. Beth thinks condition Echo means exposure. Not radiation knowledge. That we know too much. That we're witnesses to the fallout, literally. The people below can hide in bunkers or burn in cities. We're proof that someone survived. Someone saw it happen from above. Maybe that's why no one's answering. The captain made an announcement. Not a real one. He called the crew back and closed the curtain. His voice was quiet, eyes red. He said we had fuel for maybe another hour, max. That he'd sent out a mayday. No response. That even military frequencies were silent now. He said the plane had a last-ditch ditching protocol, but that was not ideal over open water. Which I think was pilot speak for "we're screwed." Then he said the quiet part out loud. "I think we're the last people alive." No one spoke for a long time after that. 30 minutes ago, the captain changed course. He didn't say where to. Just adjusted heading and dropped altitude slightly. The plane banked slowly southward. Over the PA, he told passengers we were preparing for descent, but didn't give a destination. Just said we'd be landing shortly. It started in whispers, tight, frantic murmurs passed between rows like static, eyes flicking to phones that no longer connected, maps that no longer updated. Then someone stood up and demanded answers, and when none came, the cabin cracked. A woman screamed at the emergency exit like it was a doorway to salvation. A man tried to call his wife, then sobbed into the seat back when he heard nothing but silence. The air felt thinner, heavier, like fear was eating the oxygen. Children cried without understanding why. Grown men argued over whether the lights meant we were landing or crashing. No one listened to the crew anymore. Seatbelt signs blinked uselessly above heads that no longer stayed seated. It wasn't chaos, it was collapse. A slow, creeping unraveling as everyone realized, one by one, that we weren't going home. Some people held hands. Some cried. The man in 27C started singing under his breath. I stood in the galley and looked at the sky and waited for anything. A coastline. A port. A flare. A voice. But there was nothing. Just water. We're still descending. Low now. Too low. Engines throttled back so far they're whispering. The sea looks like glass. I don't think there's a runway down there. I don't think there's anything down there. If anyone finds this phone, if anyone finds me, we were Flight 389 London to Chicago, departed 4:06 Universal Time coordinated. The crew did everything they could. We kept them calm. We fed the children. We handed out warm towels. We kept the coffee hot. We lied like saints. Not because we wanted to, but because hope was all we had left to serve. We're descending now. Lights flickering. Still nowhere land. But maybe the water will hold us. Maybe that's mercy too.